Russia was the second largest producer of crude oil in 2011, with production averaging more than 10 million barrels per day. But with the price of oil fluctuating this year, the efficiency of operations has been paramount. With me to discuss macro developments and downstream operations are senior executives of Tatneft, Vlad Voskoboinikov and Vasily Mozgovoi. Tatneft were recently named Best Oil and Gas Downstream Company in Eastern Europe 2012. Vlad, Vasily, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you.
You've been producing crude oil and gas for 60 years, and today you place a lot of emphasis on your downstream operations. What's the potential here?
Tatneft has been a predominantly upstream company. For various historical reasons, we've not had a big exposure to the downstream sector. At the same time, most Russian oil companies are vertically integrated, and the government also incentivizes deep complex refining. And in 2005, we made a strategic decision to expand into the downstream sector and build a greenfield refinery in the city of Nizhnekamsk, which is very close to our core producing assets. In December of last year, we launched the first phase of the refinery into commercial operation. We produce about 140,000 barrels of product, achieving about 50% light product yield, which is very good for a new facility. At the same time, we continue to expand the complexity by building the hydrocracker facility, and when completed, which is expected next year, we're going to move on to building the dip conversion plant.
Tell us about your upstream activities.
As you mentioned, the company is over 60 years old, which makes us the first oil company in what used to be the Soviet Union. We have over 6.2 billion barrels of proved reserves. Predominantly, all our assets are in the Republic of Tatarstan. We're also the largest company in Tatarstan.
Now, tax incentives are available to oil companies in Russia with respect to new projects and hard-to-recover reserves. What's the agreement here?
Well, among other tax incentives that we have right now, one of the biggest ones probably is the mineral extraction tax. Mineral extraction tax is designed, or was designed, for mature fields. Basically, it kicks in if your field is depleted over 80%. In 2012, we'll probably save $300 to $400 million in taxes, which we'll reinvest into drilling and reservoir management to ensure that we're able to produce for much longer.
In addition to that, Russian government introduced tax breaks associated with the greenfield upstream projects and hunt to recover reserves. The latter is very important for us. We have a pilot project to produce bitumen or tar sands. We saw very positive experience in Canada in producing this type of reserves. And the government, on top of giving a zero mineral extraction tax on production of bitumen, this year also resolved to introduce a favorable export duty, which is very important and helps us to bring more oil to the market.
Now, global markets will, of course, have an impact on your business and investment plans. How closely do you follow this, for example, the European market and the debt crisis?
Very closely. We are not operating in a vacuum, so we're dependent on world oil prices, which are in turn dependent on what's going on in the overall economy. So we have procedures in place which allow us to adjust when we need to make investment decisions. And also, for example, this year we decided to focus on decreasing our debt level. So we repaid approximately 17% of our debt in the first half of this year and plan to continue to do so for the rest of the year.
You currently extract 510,000 barrels per day. What's the future for Tatneft?
As you know, the oil business is a business of the future. In other words, if you want something done, you need to do it today so you can get results in 5 years. And management realized this 20 years ago, that in order to preserve what we have and ensure that we can get the maximum amount of oil out of the ground, you need to take steps back then. So today, because the steps taken 20 years ago and going forward, we're able to extract 510,000 barrels a day. In the foreseeable future, we should be able to sustain this production from the existing fields. This is not, of course, looking at counting additional projects that we would be looking at. But at the very minimum, the 510,000 barrels a day, we should be able to sustain a good 5 to 10 years.
Vlad, Vasily, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.